Okay, so going to talk about conversions here. Alright, so whenever you're doing the conversions, I always have three steps I follow. The first step is information times and a line. Your information is going to be whatever units it gave you. Feet, grams, pounds, whatever that happens to be. Your second step is you put the units you want to get to on the top, the units you want to get rid of on the bottom. An example of that is if you were going from feet to yards, you're trying to get 2 yards. So yards goes on the top of the line, feet goes on the bottom of the line. And then the last step is what I call plug and chug. It is not a game you would play at a frat house. It is actually just putting numbers into the equation and doing the math. So here's an example question. How many yards in 14 feet? Well, first step is information times and a line. So I have 14 feet times and a line. Now I'm trying to get 2 yards, so yards goes on the bottom. I'm trying to get rid of feet, so yards goes on the top, feet goes on the bottom. Now, do I know a conversion between yards and feet? I do. I know that 1 yard equals 3 feet. That's where I plug and now I chug. I get on my old calculator. I were to do the math here, and I would get 4.666 forever, right? Yards. Now, this isn't a math lesson, but to give you a quick info here, remember when you're multiplying fractions, this could actually be considered over 1, right? And when you multiply fractions, you just multiply straight across. So it would end up being 14 over 3, so you would just divide 14 by 3 and you get your 4.66. Also, when you have units on opposite sides of this line here, meaning on the top and on the bottom, they cancel out. So there you go. There's also a question about significant figures. Because this is a multiplication problem, and I'm given 2 numbers, 1 and 4, I only get 2 numbers. So my actual answer here would be 4.7 yards. Alright, let's try to do a few practice problems here. Alright, so first, 7 inches into centimeters. Again, information I know, times, and a line. I'm trying to get 2 centimeters. I'm trying to get from inches. Now you need to know conversion. My favorite one to do here is that 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. If you wanted, you could also say that 1 centimeter equals 0.394 inches. But those numbers are ugly and tricky, and these are just better. So, now, my inches, one's on the top, one's on the bottom, they're going to cancel out. And now, since I'm multiplying straight across, I'm just going to multiply those 2 numbers together, and I'm going to get 17.78 centimeters. But again, I'm only given 2 numbers here, so I only get 2 numbers there, so I have to round it to 18 centimeters. Alright, again, information times and a line. I'm trying to get 2 meters. I'm trying to get rid of kilometers. I know that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters because kilo means 1,000, so saying 1 kilometer is like saying 1,000 meter. Again, kilometers are going to go away, and when I do this, I'm going to get 4,100 meters. Now, talk about significant figures here. This is a little confusing, right? Do you have 2 sig figs, 3 sig figs, 4 sig figs? It's really hard to tell. That's where scientific notation comes in beautifully. Since you're only allowed 2 numbers here, you would write this 4.1 times 10 to the third meter. See how that works out? And now you know exactly how many significant figures you have. Alright, lastly, I put a little challenge on here. So, same thing, 3.75 inches times and a line. Now, I personally, off the top of my head, do not know a conversion between inches and miles. Maybe you do. But the reason I'm doing this is to show you that you can do a two-step process here. So, first things first, I do know a conversion between inches to feet and between feet and miles. So what I can do here is I want to get to feet and get rid of inches. But then I can just do another one and say, hey, then I want to get from feet to miles. So I know 1 foot is 12 inches, and I know 1 mile is 5,280. So if you were to do this, and again you would divide twice, so you would go 3.75 divided by 12, that answer divided by 5,280, your inches go away, your feet go away, you're left with 0.0005919, I think. I just did that in my head real quick, so we'll see if that's right or not. Anyways, again, ugly number, plus you're only allowed 3 significant figures, and here you have 4. So how this should be written, if you're in my class, is 5.92 times 10 to the negative 5. Right, because you're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places to get back there. And that's about it.